Hello, everyone. Sorry for the for the time. And today I'm going to talk about actually it's part of my doctoral dissertation. It's the epigraphy of the Thai in the Upper Mekong Valley in the southwestern Yunnan, China, and a case study of the multilingual and multi-scriptures inscription from the Thai party of Jinggu. Before I start to explain my topic, I would like to make a small introduction. And actually, this topic is original from my chapter 3 from my doctoral dissertation, and it's about the cultural diversity of the Thai politics in China. In China, currently we have three Thai politics, Jinggu, Genma, and Monglian, and they are all situated in the Upper Mekong Valley in the southwestern Yunnan, China, close to the border to Myanmar. Through the predominantly inhabited by the Thai people, all three politics are geographically and culturally between the Thai between the Thai heartland of Mong Mao, De Hong, and also the Thai Federation of Sisongpanna. So both these three Thai politics not only use the Lick script but also use Tam script. And also because Jinggu is very special case and influenced by the Chinese culture since the Qing dynasty, and Jinggu also use the Chinese Asian character to describe their history and also kind of like local stories. So it's very special case for study the Thai area. So first of all, I would like to share you the outline of my presentation. Today, the presentation on 3 parts. The first part is the background, and the second part is the inscription of Jinggu. The two inscriptions I choose to show all of the audience. And the third, of course, the conclusion. So you may ask, where is Jinggu and who is the Thai people? So I would like to show you the picture. Yes, this picture. This picture is the map of Yunnan in the Qing dynasty. So all these three Thai politics actually located in the Upper Mekong Valley and between the Mong Mao and the Sisongpanna. So here is the Jinggu. And Jinggu in the ancient Chinese, it named Wei Yuan. Wei means very remote area, and Yuan is really far away from the central authority. And in the Jinggu's local people's chronicle, the local Thai people, they name Jinggu Mong Bo. Bo means in the local language, Bo means the where or the kind like wares or the ware of the salt, because Jinggu in the ancient time food is rich in the salt and also rich in the tea. So bo is kind of like means the wares or means rich, some kind like that. And currently Jinggu has 4 places mainly populated by the Thai people, such as Mong Lo, Mong Ka, and Mong Pan, and Mong Bo. And those 2 inscriptions were all kept in the Mong Ka tomb. And the following section will show more detail on these two special inscriptions. So you may see that those 3 Thai politics is very clear in this map. And it's all in the Mekong, up in the Mekong River. Here is the Mekong River, and here is the Jinggu, and also the Thai name Mong Bo. And here is Jingrong, and this part is currently the Lao territories. So the Upper Mekong region, I would like to show you this picture. including the northern Thailand and the northern Laos, such as in the cycle in the Chiang Mai and the Luang Prabang, and also in the San State, Qingtong, and in China, mainly in the Xisongpanna, Qinghong, and including part of the small Thai politics. Here is the Mekong River, and Jingu mainly in those in its part. It's also in the Upper Mekong region. And then I will explain that who is the Thai Nge people. Thai Nge people in the Thai written as Thai Nge and Thai Nge in the Tam script, and also spelled as Nge or Nge, native Chinese sun or the Thai Yai. Nge in the local language means upside, and the Thai Nge people believe that their ancestors came from the up part of the Mekong River. Actually, they believe that they came from the Hmong Mao Federation Kingdom in the since the 12th or 13th century. And the Thai Nge people, their image in the ancient Chinese manuscript is like this this picture. And this picture shows not only the Thai Nge people in the ancient Chinese image, but also has some kind like description of the Thai Nge people. Here's the Chinese character, and I translate it into the English. In namely that there's a kind of Han Bai Yi, they're so-called Thai Nge, and they live in the mountains, and they are laborers, and their man clothes are over the knees. So you see that they clothes over the knees, and the woman wear the handkerchief as the height of the harrow, and they are clothed with 5 colors silk ribbon. So you see that this picture. And they are happy in the Kaihua and Pu'er Prefecture. Actually, Pu'er Prefecture not only include nowadays territory, but also include the Xisongpanna in the Qing dynasty, because this manuscript date from the 1990, and it's from the Qing dynasty, the last dynasty of China. And then the second part, I would like to show you the code of this presentation, the inscription of the Jingu. And in Jingu, the Thai Nge people use Tam and Lick script and even Pong in some area for writing related to their cultures and religions and their history as well. And their religions and culture and history and chronicle mainly on sa paper or palm leaf, but sometimes also on the stone inscription or the horizon totally inscribed ball. Both inscriptions were constructed in the Qing dynasty. The first one is the bilingual inscription written in Tam and the Chinese characters during the early 19th century. So this bilingual inscription was found in the Jinggu, Heping village and Yizhi town, but because the construction of the hydropower station, and this inscription was transferred to the Mongta town. Nowadays, it's also preserved in the Mongta monastery in Jinggu. So you see that this inscription, the one side of this bilingual inscription. This side was inscribed in Chinese Asian characters, and you see that this title is Asian Chinese character, 永远遵守, literally means forever obeyed, and on the top and no text on the bottom. But all these unclear Chinese Asian characters was inscribed in a new inscription by the local scribes, because this one is really unclear, and by the local people, they want to preserve kind of this inscription, so they copy to another one. So this is the one side already copied to a new one. Actually, it's this one, and this one is very clear and detailed to transcribe all the Chinese character on this new inscription. And it claims that the village is one of the 30 villages of Weiyuan and the Jinggu town, the Jinggu, the Mongol politic, the Jinggu politic, and see this green highlight, and also outline the rationale for the formulation of the village regulation and folk contract. This is the blue line. It means the local people, they have to follow all this local regulation. And the second part is explain the formal provision of the contract, which consists of 10 articles. This is, please see this black line. And I already transcribed into English. And the Chinese is here, it's 10 lines. And the English is here. It's also mainly means the local people, they have to follow the regulation, and you should not obey your parents, and you should not torture your parents, and you should not like steal something, or you should not drunk and fight with someone, and you should not steal someone's chicken or pig or something like that. And it's kind of like the local regulation and all in Chinese. This is the Chinese side. And the most important thing actually is the time script side. This inscription actually is the another side of the last one, this one. This is the one side. And this inscription is another side with the time script. And here, the transcript, and my colleague, Dr. Sensupa, she helps me transcribe into the modern time. And this part is from here. And you could see that the local people, they use, mainly when they use time script, they always use Pali Sanskrit to describe the kind of like they are called the philosophy, something like that. And this inscription currently preserved in the Mongkar town. And because the time limitation, I will not explain more the content of this inscription. And this is the Thai version transcribed into the modern Thai, and the English version is like this. And the English version is like the local people pray for the monastery, and also pray for the people who donate the monastery and donate this inscription. It's like donate a mirror from the local people. It's not really related to the Chinese side context. So you could see that because the Chinese side is about the local village regulation, but the transcript side is mainly about the actually it's mainly about kind of like the donators merit. So we can conclude that first of all, the front side in Chinese character was written by the local Chinese regular officer for the purpose of managing the local people, whereas the back side in the time script recount the wishes of the donates to make merit. Moreover, the date on the side of the Chinese character is recorded as the 1823. However, the date of the time script is recorded in the Chula Sakala in the 12 and 38. Actually, it's equal to 1876. So this marks marks a time difference of 55 years. This poses the question, why were two different dates written on the one inscription? Maybe it was written in different time. I'm not quite sure because the pandemic, I don't have the chance to do the field work again, but maybe in the future, I will do it again. So summary from this bilingual inscription, first of all, the first inscription is evident that the influence of the Qing court extend into the remote area, rich in salt and rich in the salt and teeth area. Second, we can conclude that the content of the inscription written in the Tam script are different from those in Chinese. And the content of the Tam script are typical of the Thai cultural expression and actually also the represent of the Thai philosophy, religion, and scripture. And it does not mention any of the content of detail in the Chinese because the first Chinese scholar who mentioned this bilingual inscription, she mentioned in her book, she said the Chinese content and it's the same with the Tam script content. But after I did this field work several times, I realized that the Chinese content is totally different from the Tam script content. So she makes wrong conclusion. Maybe she cannot speak, she cannot read the Tam script, and she got some mistake or false information from some people. I don't know. And by the way, the Thai culture was deeply entrenched in the local society. So even when the local people were required to confront the encroachment of the borderland integration from the Qing core, not only the political influence, but also the Han culture, because Jinggu now is a part of China. And actually, since the mid of the Qing dynasty, the Qing core already took the borderland integration into Jinggu, and the emperor of the Qing core, he abolished the native official system. Actually, is so-called Zhao Fa in the local language. So he abolished the Zhao Fa and he replaced with the Chinese regular officer. And Jinggu was the first place replaced by the Chinese regular officer since the Qing dynasty. So it's also kind of like an aspect from the Qing core's territory expansion in the mid of Qing dynasty. But we also could conclude that actually the local Thai people, they still keep their philosophy and their religion and their cultural kind of like this part to preserve their own culture and their own history. So the second inscription I took in this presentation is the triangular inscription. This is a very typical inscription in Jinggu, showcasing the cultural diversity of the region. This inscription is from Leiguang Boji Monastery, and the Thai name is the Wa Bata Rai Guang. Wa is the monastery in the local language, and the Bata, it means the Buddhist, the Buddha's footprint. And Rai Guang is the name of the mountain, because this monastery was constructed in the middle of the mountain. So it named the Bata Rai Guang, Wat Bata Rai Guang. And it also located in the Yongping town, Mongka, the Thai name is Mongka in Jinggu. And structurally, the monastery has a main hall with double cave and a multiple roof ridge. It was called the Holy Land of the Buddhism in the Southeast Asia. So here is in this inscription from the Wat Bata Rai Guang. And you could see that this inscription was inscribed 3 different scripts. This is the ancient Chinese character, and here is the Tam script, and here is the Li script, and the both side and the middle side is the also Chinese classical characters. And here is the Tam script as well. And this inscription is quite special and very typical, because in the Tam script writing, it describes the construction of this monastery. And from the Li, because sorry, I cannot read the Li script, so I cannot explain the Li. But I asked the local scribe. They says also means the construction date or the construction process of this monastery. And the ancient Chinese character means the kind of like the Buddhism concepts. I think this Buddhism concepts is not from the Theravada Buddhism. I think it's more like from the Mahayana Buddhism, because I think kind of like this one, for example, and you see that and that means to be a Buddhist who will arrive in the paradise. And both sides here, the first one is if you have experienced an ascetic, you cannot find the fairyland. And the second one is if you did not try your best to stay here, how would you know that there is a famous mountain? So I think in the Theravada Buddhism, we don't have kind of like this Buddhist concept, but in Mahayana, it has. And in the middle side is the construction date and who built this monastery and this inscription. So I would like to show the time script, the transcribe into the modern time, and my daughter, also my colleague, Dr. Sinsupa, and she helps me transcribe the transcript into the modern time. And here is the modern time translation, and here is the English translation. And you could see that the English translation is mainly about the construction process and why they construct this monastery. So it's an interesting story. And so summary from this trilingual inscription, we could get this conclusion. The local oral legend is a bit different from the content of the time script. The time script consists account about the author, a monk who came from the Tutarata Ratchaburi city. I don't know, maybe it's kind of like a miracle city or scary city. And he states why he came here and where he found the Buddha's footprint. And he also appeared that all the people of the Monka, including the royal family, should cooperate to construct this monastery while awaiting the arrival of the future Buddha Medaya. So this is his wish. And finally, conclusion, I would like to give this presentation. First, Jingu was the first one and the only one China politic that has been abolished its Chaofa ruin and under the governance of the Chinese regular officers since the 1726. That's the main reason that Jingu has a number of inscriptions with bilingual and the trilingual scripts. And the first inscription, the first picture, the inscription one was inscribed the local regulation. The different Chinese content on the two inscriptions show that with the historical development and the Qingkou governance of the Jingu has also been deepened. And its border integration policy has had also been continually promoted to more remote area. However, the administrative power of the imperial court, the Chinese imperial court, who only barely reach the general the remote area and inaccessible area. Local authority had to rely on the local society to organize the local law to regulate the behavior of the villagers. And because they lack of effective private administration method, so they really related to the local organization. That's the reason why the first bilingual inscription was found and was constructed. And also, Jingu was initially located of the abundant rivers of the tea and the mineral salt. Such promotion of the Han culture enabled Jingu's ally to integrate into the Han culture gradually. As such, Jingu has many stone inscriptions and also the horizontal inscribed font with classical Chinese character and the time and also lead script. Thus, it can be said that Jinggu is the most culturally diverse Taina polity in the southwest Yunnan. And I think Jinggu is also scholarly attractive for most of scholars who study the Taina politics. And it could thus be concluded that while Jinggu has been under the political control of the Qing since the Yongzheng Emperor abolished the native officer of Jinggu and appointed the Chinese regular officer in the 1723. Moreover, the Han influence has gradually permeated the local society, but the core ideology of Jinggu Taina is still alive today, which shows the cultural diversity of Jinggu and has academic attractive. So thank you very much for your time and kokumaka.